Hello, everyone, and welcome to Deconstructing Vocal Genius. What we're going to do is take a look at some of the greatest singers that we know of in the world and understand why and what they do so that we can make it part of our own singing. I do need to, let's see here, I think I do need to open up Instagram just to make sure that this has been sent. Go live. I'm still waiting for it to connect, so hold on for a moment, everyone, here. If this doesn't work, then forget them. All right. After you go live, that's what I did, guys. All right, let's just take a second here and see if we can get it up. Oh, it says we are live on there. But I'll try it again. Edit. Where's my edit? Always something with these computers. Don't you know that, you guys? Deconstructing. Yes. Okay, let's just put in this streaming key again. Just in case it's old and needs a new one. And we must be good because it's good there. All right, so let's save the changes. And when I look at Instagram, it doesn't even know that I'm in here. Okay, live video. Public. Next. Okay, I know we're live on... Or maybe we're not. Did I forget to go live on? No, we're live. Okay, well, sorry, Instagram guys. Can't figure out why you're not online. But we do have the comments open if you'd like to make a comment. Back to what we're doing here. So Linda's my guest. I'll be bringing her on in a moment. This is to show people how and why singers that are so great create what they do. And what's really cool about this is as we deconstruct, you'll find that the actual construction is done with emotions. So that is like the best part of it. Make sure we're at least on YouTube. I believe we part of it. Yeah, we are. I'll make sure we're at least on YouTube. Okay, otherwise that'll echo. All right, so we're on YouTube. Don't know if we're on Facebook, but we're on YouTube. And we are streaming, and we have comments if you'd like to make them. I will put in a test one for you, just so that you can see what we're doing here. Test. There you go, and there I am. See, I've sent out something. So if anyone's watching, if not, that's okay. If anyone's watching, you can make comments. I'd like to ask you some questions once I see that someone's online. Again, this is about my technique called the vocal muse technique, which helps singers learn at lightning speed what other great singers already know how to do. And Linda will be the guest. She's selected the song, and she will also be the learner at this point. You'll kind of be watching us go through this process. You'll be learning at the same time, which is very cool, all these great things that we can do so easily now. So here is Linda. Hi, Linda. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good.
All right. Let's see here. You're kind of loud. Why? I can control that. Just give me a moment. Edit mic settings. Oh, you're on automatic. Okay, there we go. Okay, say hello again.
Hello, hello.
That's better. A little bit again.
Hello. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Hello.
Okay, there we go. All right, and I also can bring you down in FarPlay. By the way, we're using FarPlay as a streaming. I won't say too much about it because we don't have time, but it's a pretty cool system. Of course, the fact I'm sharing screen on here could be a problem. Let's see. So, yeah, you shouldn't be too loud here. Bring that all the way. Bring that down. Would you say something again, Linda, please?
Testing 1 2. Hello, hello. Testing 1 2 3. 1 2 3.
Okay. Thank you. Hello, hello, hello. All right. So we're going to start with a little bit of what I call myth busting. This is, let me start the screen share so you can see what I'm looking at. And that'll just be a moment. Come on. Open, open, open. There we go. screen. Do that. No. And there is Melodyne. If you haven't heard of Melodyne, it is the standard for editing music these days in the studios. Almost everything that you hear that has been edited has been used through Melodyne. Our reason for using it, however, is different. We're using it for research. Now, with the invention of the stem splitter, we're able to get this vocalist's voice all by itself, as if we'd gone to the recording studio and said, hey, could you give us a copy of just, let me pull her up so you guys can see who I'm talking about. I've got a nice Samara Joy is who we're talking about. And we get to see just exactly what her voice does. I love it here. It says, a voice like silk, a soul that swings, the future of jazz. You should. Can you see that, Linda?
I can see it.
Yeah, okay. Now I'm going to close it. Tell us just, before I close this, tell us just a little bit about Samara, what you know about her and why you selected this song and the section we're going to look at.
Well, I selected her because she is, a new artist, relatively new, young jazz vocalist, Grammy Award winning.
Wow.
So just very contemporary, but still contemporary as far as her being new, but her style is very classic jazz. And so it's kind of like taking some of the traditional jazz sultry female vocalists and bringing it into today. And so that's kind of why I selected her.
Yeah, I noticed that the song that we're looking at has been done by Billie Holiday.
Yes.
So, go ahead.
Oh, and a lot of, like Sarah Vaughan, a lot of, jazz female vocalists from the past, so.
So is what attracted you to her the fact that she's new?
Yes, I think so. There's Sarah Vaughan and Ella Fitzgerald and, Nancy Wilson, a lot of older jazz vocalists, but because her being new and wanting to, I guess, see and compare how even today some of the older songs, because I sing a lot of jazz, and how taking songs that have been around for decades and making them today, and so that's kind of why I selected it.
Well, she definitely does that. And we'll take a look. We'll take a look now. So I'm going to close this. You'll see. I want to close that as well. So here's back to Melodyne. All right. So we just took one section of this, and I think the reason Linda selected it, you can tell me if you did or didn't, is that there's a lick in here which is very interesting, and especially the first note. Let me play this one line, and the very first note is very, if you will, a little bit tense and harmonic, but it's beautiful. So let's listen to it.
Got a moon
right there
above me, but no one to love me.
Now, according to Melodyne, that's an F sharp, and we're in the key. We're in major blues. We're in the key of G. So an F sharp, well, that's in blues. That's a major 7. So no wonder. So this is no wonder it's got such a cool feel to it. And then, of course, this line right here is pretty sophisticated. Did you learn any of this yet, Linda?
I didn't learn how she did it. No, I know the song, but I didn't want to necessarily copy her.
Okay, well, sure. Well, the copying that we're doing today is just to add it to your feel, to add it to your ability to improvise, which you're very good at. So if I was, for instance, if I was a guitar player, if I was a jazz guitar player, and I heard a jazz guitar player play this line, and I had never heard it before, or maybe not even ever played it before, I might do exactly what we're doing here take that one section and play along with it until I mastered it. And then, of course, I doubt it would ever come out exactly as the original guitar player played it, but it would affect my overall guitar playing. So there is an artistic function here. We're not doing this so that we can become Samara Joy. We're doing this so that we can add to our skills. But going back to myth busting, if you listen to this again, you go, wow, this woman can really sing. She's probably perfect. And I'm just, that's, what do you call, tongue-in-cheek a little bit. But I'll explain that in a moment. Listen one more time.
Got a moon above me, but no one to love me.
I mean, it sounds pretty good to me. But if you look at the reality of this, if you've ever thought that you should sing perfectly on pitch or perfectly in rhythm, this is going to help you understand that the people you admire do not do that. They actually play with the rhythm and play with the pitch to create their emotional colors. Again, we're deconstructing this point, but when she was constructing, this was done with emotions. She may have worked this lick prior to singing this. You never know whether they're totally improvising or whether they've actually sat down and thought it through. And Samara's not going to tell us that. Even if we write her, she's going to say, what? I'm not your teacher. Get out of here. But this recording can be our teacher. But here's the myth busting. Okay, so these rectangles that are in gray,
Yes.
they represent two things. From the beginning of the rectangle to the end of the rectangle is rhythm. And you can see these vertical lines right here. This is rhythm. So here's a bar right here, and I've got it in 1/8. So you got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's one bar of eighth notes. And right here you can see she's a little early. Now, one of the things that's interesting about voices is that this part's probably the consonant. Got. So this part is where her voice started. But again, you see it's not so-called perfect. Even with that, you can see that the sound here, which is right there, is a little bit after the line. But the other thing that's real interesting here is the distance between the top of the gray and the bottom of the gray here is pitch. And she's supposedly singing a G here or an F sharp. Melodyne makes its own decisions, but it's decided that it's an F sharp. So she's 33% sharp. So if she was perfect, and we'll get to that in a moment, it would have sounded entirely different, and I don't think we would have liked it a whole lot. And actually with Melodyne, I won't do this, but I could go in with a little bit of study and put everything on pitch. And if anybody's ever heard auto-tune, that's what it would sound like. What happened to poor Samara? We don't like her anymore. Right? So we don't like perfect. Here we go. This next one, gotta, right here is on the G, but it's a little bit flat, and she's a little bit early, again on the tempo. Right here, this one is pretty close to, let me just show you here. Up here in these little squares is where I'm talking about. You can see the percentage sharp or flat. Plus 33 means that she's sharp. Flat 33 means she's flat. If you don't know what those mean, then you can look them up, because that'll be part of learning to be a better singer. So right here we go, 20 cents flat, so that G is not purely a G, and you can kind of see that in the little rectangle. Then here the F sharp is one of the most on-pitch notes in this entire line here. That's only 1 cent sharp, flat. That's very good. And look at the vibrato. These lines right here are the vibratos. And another thing that she does here is she slurs up. Gotta move. These are representing that as well. So gotta move up. Then this note is above me. So when you listen to this line right here, you hear kind of how she changes this. She doesn't just hit it and go, gotta move. That would be very boring, and I think she knows that. Let's listen.
Gotta move above me.
See that little, very classic jazz feel, huh? I mean, I'm hearing Sarah right there. Sarah Vaughan, or many of the other jazz singers that have used that line. This line here is the pickup note. Above me is pretty much on pitch as well. It's only 11 cents flat. It's pretty much on rhythm. She was a little bit early here. We don't necessarily have to look at every one of these. I'm just trying to make a point here that if she was perfect, this would sound terrible. And if you've ever watched a video where they've demonstrated how auto-tune or Melodyne can be abused, it's where they take all of these blobs here and put them exactly in rhythm, quantize it's what they called, and then put them everything on perfect pitch. And I don't know virtually any mixers that I would respect that would do that. They might look at this and say, well, you know, we could maybe affect a little change here and it would still sound really cool, but it wouldn't change who Samara is or what her feel is. Here again, we're early, pretty much close to on pitch, only -6%. Right dead on pretty much right here, even though this is really just it's not even a pitch. And it's just kind of a little, gotta move above me. And you can see the vibrato in here. Let's listen to that real quick. Yeah, you hear that? Me. So you can see all these things, and this is why we love what we're hearing, is because of all these things. A little bit flat here. Again, early on the rhythm. Now this riff right here, again, you know, when you just listen to it, you go, wow, that's really cool. And I'm sure she's very talented and worked very hard at this. But this is not perfectly on pitch. So 1 cent flat. This is a little bit flat here. 23% flat. Sharp here, plus 34%. Going back to the same note here, 10% sharp, 29% flat, 39% sharp, 34% flat, 25% flat. It sounds like I'm auctioning something off here. 35% flat, and then this is the little riff right here, so it's going to be two different pitches. One was 10% flat, the other, as you can see, a little bit flatter. And again, she's got a little riff right here. Let's listen to it. She got a little. Now, Melodyne is the standard in the industry for being able to see what is happening audio-wise. And it's pretty incredible that it comes up with this stuff, but it's not necessarily exactly the way it looks. But you see how these lines connect and how they move through the pitches. Here's a wonderful vibrato that we can hear. Right here. That's a great vibrato. You can see that it goes above and below the pitch a little bit. And the pitch right here is deadly on. 11 cents sharp. I wouldn't even think about it. This is quite sharp here, though. 33%. So again, we've busted the myth here that if we practice for perfection, if we practice for perfect rhythm, and I'm going to go to a really good example of what I'm talking about here. Let me close this screen share and open the next. Here we go. So, removing that one. Stop screen share. Okay. Here, we're going to look at the sheet music. And now that's going to be interesting. First of all, there is no Samara Joy sheet music. There's just the sheet music that was of the writer of the song in the first place. And I've got that right here. That's Jimmy Davis, yeah, right here. And turn that off, share. Okay. All right. So here we got the Gotta Move Above Me. Call my own. But this gotta move above me. I don't know exactly what those notes are. Let me get my piano on here. Starts at E flat. Yeah, so it's just da 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 da. Got a moon above me. Well, obviously Samara changed that. And even if she hadn't done what she'd done with it, if she'd even sung exactly what's written here, got a moon above me, pretty boring. You know, you can't learn from sheet music these things. And one of the reasons I know that is because back in the day when I was young, we had pianists to play music for us. We didn't have all of this sophisticated computer technology. And so they would come in and play, and if the singer was off on the pitch, the pianist would play these notes and say, well, this is what you're supposed to sing here. Well, when that happened, especially to beginners, I knew there was something wrong, but there was nothing I could do about it. We didn't have any options. Hence why I've come up with this technique, is to say, hey, wait a minute, we can't sing this way and attract our audiences. Got a moon above me, Lover man, where can you be? It can't be that strict. And we saw that on Melodyne. If you actually, I think if you can do that, I can actually play that for you a little bit, I think. No, it's not going to let me. But sometimes in the sheet music they have a little synthesizer that plays, and that really sounds funny. So we're not going to worry about that. We'll stop sharing this. We're going to go to what we really can learn from next, which is actually Melodyne. Audacity, excuse me. I get them confused during these conversations. How is our comments doing? Nothing yet. No viewers yet. The rule of thumb with these things is if you can't get discouraged about it. You have to just keep doing them until people start seeing them, and then you have to put out promotions and so forth, which I haven't done yet because I want to get better at this before I expose this to the world. And of course, Linda would be welcome to come back if she'd like to. But now we're going to Audacity. Come on. There we go. Share screen. And there she is. Okay. How do we do this so that you can actually learn? And if you look at the StreamYard screen, on the left-hand corner, there's a QR code. And if you take a picture of that, it'll lead you to my software, which would actually take you from the very beginning of this whole concept and take you step by step, especially if you're a beginner, all the way through. And one of the things that's great about Audacity is you can put any song you want in it to do this learning with. So in this case, we chose what Linda wanted to work on. And so we have Samara Joy on here. But this has a couple of really neat benefits. And one of them is looping. So I have picked about 1 minute and 10 seconds here, which is just a little bit before where she starts to sing. And as I play that, that's going to help me know where to start. Right there.
Just to call you mine.
Right there, you see? Now when I click pause, that creates 2 lines here. And I can highlight between the 2 lines. And now I have it so that I can play it over and over again without having to worry about it.
Just to call you mine.
So I listen to that part just to get me into it. So I'm going to go ahead and add that, but you love me.
Just to call you mine. Got a moon above me, but no one to love me.
There we go, perfect. So right now, just listening to this over and over again would be extremely empowering. What do you think, Linda?
Yeah.
That would be true? Yeah. Just knowing that there's enough complexity in her singing that if we just listen to it and go by it and keep singing the whole song, we might miss a lot of details. When you learn a brand new song, what is your methodology? How do you start? I know you choose it. You decide what you want to believe in, what you want to do with it, and then you do what from there?
And you're talking a song that someone else has recorded?
That you want to learn.
Yeah, so I'll listen to it over and over. I'll put it on repeat. And then if there's a section that I don't know as well, then I'll listen to that section over and over again.
Smart.
And then once I'm more familiar with it, then I take the person out of it, and then I just start doing it my own way. Of course, you're carrying some of what you've learned from the other person, but then I just try to make it my own thing.
Now, for the beginners out there, Linda's very, very advanced, and so she can do that. Just get rid of the singer and just take over. But many people can't do that for a while, maybe years. They need to do a lot of copying first, and this is what we're going to kind of get into. But so, Linda, when you said you rewind, when you play it over and over again, is it from the beginning to the end?
Initially, it might be, and it also depends on what I'm doing. But if I can keep, starting, I might listen to the first part of it to get the verse, and then I'll do that over and over and over, and then move on to another section, and then kind of repeat that, and then go back and from the beginning and kind of, do more and more of the song. So just kind of breaking it up in sections, but then after a while going back and trying to just do it from the beginning.
Can you remember how you did it many, many moons ago before you would consider yourself advanced enough to just remove the singer and go for it?
Oh, many, many moons ago?
Many moons. Red, blue, green.
Right, but they still had just like records.
Yeah, vinyl, yeah.
Yeah, you just put the song on and just let it play. And then,
Did you sing along or did you just listen?
oh, I
Do you
would
remember?
sing along, yeah.
Okay.
I mostly sang along.
That's what I did too. And after coaching singers for so many years, I'd say that it's a pretty good guess that most singers do that. And I did it for the majority of my career, and actually did it for many years of my coaching. I didn't start this until I decided that I wanted to put a video program together that would not be vocal technique, because those technique videos don't work and they cause damage to people's voices, because I've had them come in that have worked on them and their voices have been damaged, and the voice teacher may have given perfectly good advice and perfectly good exercises, but they assume that the singer already knows how to make the technical corrections, and that's where it dies. Now here, we're not making technical corrections, we're just making music corrections, and then later on I'll show you how you verify whether you're doing it right or not without a coach. So it is possible. But what I found is that when I sang along with the other singer, I really couldn't hear them that well. So I really didn't know what they were doing, other than the basic melody and so forth. Did you find that true?
Yes.
Linda?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the other side is that you can hear them way too much. You can't hear yourself enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so you may not, again, you may be trying to copy, you may be trying to get the details, but you can't hear whether your voice is matching or not. And so this software will help us with that as we go on. The other thing that is very empowering, which is what we're going to do next, is slow it down. Especially when you've got a riff like that. Let's listen to it again.
Call you my own. Got a moon above me, but no one to love me.
Now, since Linda's a female vocalist, she wouldn't do this. This would be perfectly in her key. Have you tried to sing that low note? I'm not sure. What is it? Oh, yeah, you can hit that G. That's no problem. Right, that part there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's no words. You would not have to change the key. But if I wanted to learn it and make any sense out of how it should feel, I would lower the key so that I could do it in a key that would be similar to hers as far as how it feels, but in my voice, so that I wouldn't be straining and, screwing everything up, which is what I used to do. I would sing all those high notes right along with her, like I could do it. I didn't. Those days I didn't know. I didn't know any better. It wasn't until I had actual voice lessons that I realized that I couldn't do it, but eventually I could do it, but it still didn't make sense to do it because it completely changes the feel of the song when I sing in her octave. So what we're going to do is, Linda wants to learn this, so to speak, and it's in her key, so we're not going to change the key. However, we are going to slow it down. And I didn't bother doing that with Melodyne because it didn't really matter. But here we have tempo. This is fairly slow, but let's try 36% slower. We'll preview it just to see how it sounds.
Call you my own. Got a
Yeah, that should be slow enough. Now I click apply. If you guys use Audacity, be sure and check this use high quality stretching here, because it makes this all so much cleaner than if you don't. And then we will loop it. Now, we don't have time to do this here, and even if I was giving an actual voice lesson, we don't do this. But at home, if you decide you want to learn this, you should listen to it at least 20 times without singing. This is the most powerful, now it's hard to say which is the most powerful, but this is one of the most powerful things I learned, is listen. We did a podcast with the great producer Frank Greenfield. He's also an incredible guitar player, classical from when he was very young. And he mentioned that, let me spray my voice here. It's getting dry here in Las Vegas. He mentioned that he does a lot of listening, and that's really the key to success, is not the playing so much as the listening. So we're going to listen a couple of times is all we're going to do, and I'll be listening for details, and Linda will be listening for details. And you all, when you hear this recording, if you're not here now, should be listening for details. That's why we're slowing it down, because we want to know the magic. We don't want to know just, okay, Samara's a great singer, she can do this, and I can try to copy her. We want to know what really makes the magic. So here we're going to play it 36% slower.
Call you my own. Got a moon above me, but no one to love me.
Enharmonic was the word I was looking for. That's an enharmonic line. This whole section right here is kind of enharmonic.
Got a moon
It's beautiful. It's so pretty. Especially against that string section.
Call you my own. Got a moon above me, but no one to love me.
So, do you tell? Is it easier to hear what she's doing there, Linda?
When it's slowed down?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, in my experience, you would learn this phrase here like maybe 100 times faster than if you tried to do it at the original tempo. Now, you might be good enough that if you did it at the original tempo, you might get it. Again, some people have great ears and great experiences, so we don't want to put everybody in the same bag. But 99% of the singers should slow this down if they really want to understand how it works and how it goes. What did you notice about it going slower?
Well, each note of the riff, I mean, it landed somewhere. You know, it wasn't like slurring. It seemed very deliberate, whether or not she was singing it that way or not. But in slowing it down, it also makes it sound more approachable. Like, okay, I can listen to this enough, and I can get it. You know.
Yeah, and you know what really supports what we're talking about here and what you just said is that this is how musicians do things all the time. This is how they do it. They want to learn. I mean, not every one of them, but the better ones and the better teachers will say, you got to slow it down. And for instruments, sometimes it's for a different reason. It's like getting the timing between the guitarist, getting the timing between the pick and the pressing down the string. For the saxophone, it's between the embouchure and the fingers, and so forth, to get that feel. And if they start slow and then speed it up, they become incredible players because they do it right. They did it right when they did it slow. And as they sped it up over time, they continued to do it right. And by the time we hear them perform it at the original tempo, we're just like dropping our jaw. We can't believe that somebody could do that. But that is the magic of that, is slow it down first. Now, besides the riff and being able to hear the notes and so forth, do you notice any inflections, anything about her voice that maybe you would have missed if we did it faster?
Yes. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but yeah. How there might be some notes that were a little more forceful, and then others that kind of were lighter.
Like the dynamics?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that, again, that's a huge factor in singing and playing an instrument for that matter. One of the things that you can tell about an amateur is their dynamics are usually 100% the whole time. Just play it, don't worry about what it feels like or what anybody's going to hear. Just play the damn thing. So we want to listen for those things and get them so that we are, I like to call us colleagues of Samara rather than idol worshippers. And Linda's far beyond that. But some of us, that would be where we are. In fact, if I found a idol worshiper of Samara and I went through this, they might yell at me and say, "You're wrong. She's perfect." Well, they're right. She is perfect. This is perfect for this style of music. It's not perfect for classical, but this is not classical. So we shouldn't study it like classical, which would be like that sheet music, playing everything exactly the way it is. When Seth Riggs and I were partners and we used the same piano, sometimes he didn't like some of the pianos because they couldn't play the classical stuff. They couldn't play everything exactly the way it's written. And he usually would let them go and get somebody else in there. But sometimes I really liked that pianist because he had more improvisational feel. He had more feel for jazz and blues and so forth and so on. So, it's all different. It's not right or wrong. It's just different. I want to listen to this one more time, and then I'll chime in about some of those little details.
Call you mine. Got a moon above me, but no one to love me.
Hey, you're right. You're catching the details, and it is very deliberate. But at the same time, it's also very free. Mm-hmm. It's not like a piano player going ding, ding, ding. When I first heard it, almost sounded a little bit like a scale that a pianist might learn to improve their playing. Da 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 da. That's a little bit predictable. The other thing is she plays with the tone of her voice, but like when she gets that low note. I don't think it's because she can't hit it. I think it's because it feels really good to say and then build up from there. And the other thing that is a myth that many voice teachers pass on, because that's their world, is musical theater, opera, and choir. They would say that her diction should be clearer. So it would have to be, what are the words? Do you remember the words, Linda?
Got a moon above me, there, right. But no one to love me. Right,
so it'd have to be, got a moon above me, got a moon above me. Then whatever the rest of the words are, everything's got to be very specific and clear. And believe me, if I was in musical theater situation and the artist was not over-pronunciating the words and I was 100 feet away and they weren't using microphones, I would say, what is she saying? I wouldn't get the words either. So it's appropriate under those circumstances. But Samara's a master at the microphone. And so she knows how to use it and she doesn't over-pronunciate. So that was one of the things I noticed. Let's listen one more time and notice how light the pronunciation is. It's very clear. We could definitely get the words. But it's not over-accented.
Call you mine. Got a moon above me, but no one to love me.
Yeah, the word "but" didn't even have a T at the end. But she didn't go "but," just "but," and a little bit similar. Got a moon. That was kind of got a moon, not got a moon. Got a moon above me, not above me, but above me. Very gentle because this is very soft. Would you put this in the soft jazz category? Probably not. I don't know. What do you think, Linda?
No, just because, it's more like jazz blues just from, hearing other artists from back in the day. I don't know that soft jazz was a thing when Sarah was singing.
No, it wasn't. It was just all jazz. Mm-hmm. You had to decode. What does the word jazz mean? Well, I'm not 100% sure, frankly, but it appeared that what it meant was you do your own thing. Mm-hmm. You don't read music and you don't do what the conductor tells you to do. The drummer keeps the rhythm, and so you stay within the bounds of the drummer. So he's kind of a conductor, but everything else is free. Do you know everything about what this song is about? Approximately.
Yes, it's about a woman who's very lonely and wants a lover. She's very melancholy and she's yearning to have a man of her own. I don't know if there's a backstory. I don't even know if this is from like a musical or something, but from the song. She's looking for someone who loves her. She's longing for that.
Yeah, and I feel that. Do you feel that in her singing? Samara singing,
Yeah.
Got a moon above me. It's not like, hey, I'm having a great time. Got a moon above me. So now that we're at the point we're not deconstructing anymore, we're taking a look at saying what emotions drove this phrasing. And Linda nailed it. It's very sad and lonely. Got a moon above. She's expressing through music what can't be expressed as well through words. There's a great description of singing that I love, and it is that when the words are so emotionally charged that speaking just doesn't cut it, then you sing it. And I think that's terrific. Yeah, there's just feelings and emotions that are just so hard to express. If I just stand here and say, "Oh, gotta move above me, I'm so sad," that's very undynamic compared to her. And when she puts that riff in there, that's again to add to the feel, to the mood, and the strings behind that. That's very cool stuff. So if you're looking at these things as a learner who wants to become a colleague, then you take it every little detail. Now, how do you verify whether you have it or not? Now, Linda hasn't had a chance to practice this or really listen to it, but could you sing it along with her once?
Sure.
Okay, so I don't think this is going to record you because it's not on your line. So you know what? I'm going to be the one who does it.
Okay.
I'm going to sing an octave lower, and I'm going to record myself, not really knowing what I'm doing, but that's what I want to listen to, is the fact I don't know what I'm doing. So check it out. Here we go. Oh, that started in the wrong place. Sometimes Audacity does that, and I don't know why. So let's try it again. Because I had it marked. Both sides, of course. Come on. Let's try it again now. Nope, timer recording. Yeah, it started right at the beginning. That's what I did not want it to do. Don't ask me why this is giving me trouble. I have no idea. It usually does not. But let's start it from here. We've got a line drawn. Should start right there. Let me start from play. Okay, yeah, that did it right. Here we go. Shift R. There we go. Got a moon above me. No one to love me. Now, knowing that I cannot figure out how she's doing this with music theory, we proved that with Melodyne. The only way that I can learn exactly what she's doing, or anyone else for that matter, is a tremendous amount of listening. So I didn't really do that, but I would recommend it to anybody who really wants to know how this is done. I would listen to it maybe 30, 40 times because it's a kind of sophisticated line. I'd want to hear the details and so forth. Then when I sang along with her, like we talked about how we used to sing along with the records, I would want to listen for a unison. I would be hoping that I would be matching her as close as possible. But like we've mentioned, sometimes when you're trying to hear you and the other singer at the same time, we miss details. So this multi-tracking makes it so that we can hear all the details. So here's my embarrassment for the day. There we go. Got a moon above me. No one to love me. I mean, not bad, but not great. So after I hear where I'm missing the rhythms and so forth, then I go back to listening. Because you have to absorb the feeling. If you try to predict what she's going to do, you'll either be late or early, So you have to absorb it to the point that it's part of your subconscious. Then when you start to do the unison, it'll be much closer, and you do the same thing. You go back and you record and see where you're at, see where the timing is. Sometimes you may not want to bother with absolute perfection, so you might want to pass on a couple of little things that you did that were different, because after all, you're going to create your own style anyway, right, Linda?
Right.
So why do you need every little detail? Well, it all depends on how much you think of Samara and how much emotion you feel from the lines and what you think you can get out of it. But it is up to the singer. It's not up to a teacher. One of the benefits of being a coach that I've seen from this, and Linda can attest to this, when you hear yourself perfectly in unison with the other singer, what does that do to your confidence?
Yeah, well, it boosts it.
Yeah. And if the same thing, of course, having some respect for myself, would happen if I said, hey, Linda, you did it right on. That was great. But which has more power, you hearing it or me saying it?
Well, you sang it.
No, me saying it has more power than you hearing it?
Well, I mean,
it's up to you. I'm not trying. There's no right or wrong here.
well, I think, if that's what if I'm going for trying to nail something, like, because in my head I might think, I'm doing it perfect, but if someone validates it, I think that is important too. So they're both probably important.
I like that. So we could say that maybe the two together are exponential.
Yes.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Thank you. That's great. Yeah, the two together, because I did run into a software that they wanted me to purchase for teaching that was similar to Audacity, but it didn't have the multitrack feature. So the way that they promoted it to the teacher is that you'll tell the student when they did it right or when they did it wrong. But you can slow it down, you can change keys, it had all those benefits, but it wasn't multitrack. And Audacity, believe it or not, is one of the most easy softwares there is for this type of multitrack work. You might find some on an iPhone or whatever that's a little bit simpler in a way, but you can't really get it hooked up the way we've got our studios hooked up. Linda's got her studio hooked up, and you can hear the quality of her microphone is terrific. So really, guys, this is pretty much it. And then what you do is, if you want more phrases, because you'll find that if you listen to Samara sing this entire thing, even though the words may change a little bit, the phrasing changes a lot from verse to verse. Did you pick up on that, Linda?
Yes.
So if you really, there's a lot of information here, is my point. Doesn't mean you have to stay with her forever and do the whole thing. I do recommend it for beginners, that once you start a song, that you learn every phrase one at a time, then go through and make sure you've got them. Then you can go back and put 3 or 4 together and see if you've got all those, and then eventually you'll have the whole song. Then what you do, because you might want to perform it, then you start speeding it up. So you go from 30, what was it, 36% I was at? Let me check just to verify 36. So then maybe go to 25. You'd be amazed at how little time it takes to speed it back up to the original tempo. The majority of the time spent is on the slower, on the learning, getting the details. After that, as you start to speed it up, you say, well, I've got this. I'm really getting it down. Now, if you are karaoke oriented, you might get a big kick out of doing this at a karaoke club where everybody goes, oh, you sound just like Samara. Now, for Linda, that would not be that big a deal. She's been through that. That was part of her journey. It's okay to sound exactly like a great star, as long as that's not your end goal. And Linda knows that very well, because she's a great improvisationalist, and that really brings out the emotions and the feel that we just wouldn't be able to get from Linda, because Linda is Linda, and she does it her way. Samara does it her way, and Linda does it her way, and I might one day want to listen to Samara, the next day I may want to listen to Linda do the same song. Just depends on what my mood is and what I think I'm going to get out of it. So let me come out of screen share here and join the troops, meaning you and me and whoever else. So thank you so much, Linda. This really helps because I love talking to you rather than just a camera. And your comments are so valuable because they give the perspective of the person I'm talking to rather than me trying to make it up on my own. Well, Linda would have said this and Linda would have said that. And I've watched a lot of these, getting into this live streaming. Of course, you watch, like other singers, I watch different people do it. And theirs is very structured, and they're pretty good at talking to the camera, but you don't get the dialogue. And personally, I love the dialogue. Again, just let me put this up here. It's kind of cute. Here it is. So be sure and like and subscribe to my page because you will be promoting what we're doing here. And if you can find someone else doing this, I would love to have you give me that feedback because I would love to learn from them if they know something about this. Right now, I'm a lone wolf. I'm a pioneer in this. I'm proud of that, but it doesn't mean that I wouldn't like sharing and learning from other people. So when you like and subscribe, it boosts up the YouTube promotion so that other people see it and hear it. And of course, if you happen to catch the recording and you couldn't really be involved, you can still like and subscribe, and you can still tell your friends about it, and you can still share it. There's always that big share button at the bottom of YouTube. Just to mention it briefly, using Samar's recording is called fair use. There's no royalty ripoffs here because we didn't play the song for promotion, for trying to sell her and try to get paid for selling her record by playing it. And we only did little sections of it at a time. So it's a little bit ambiguous, but when you take a song off of YouTube to work on, you can do that pretty confidently without feeling like you're ripping the artist off. Now, if you're an artist, and I do this quite often, I'll pay for it anyway, just because it makes me feel good that, I supported the music industry. Because those of us who were around in the 80s and 90s and saw how well the industry was doing it and then saw what the internet did to it, it's sad. So little money out there now. But the good thing is that great artists do this for the love of it. If they make a lot of money, great. If they don't, they do it anyway. So I don't think it's going to kill the art, but it sure makes it hard to record, doesn't it, Linda?
Yes.
If you don't have the budget.
For the love.
but if you got the love but you don't have the budget, but at least you can perform without paying for it. Now there's pay-to-play clubs, and while I'm on that subject very briefly, that just means that that's a place you can promote yourself. So when you're marketing yourself, it's okay to pay for something. You're not paying to play like you're a sideman in a band. You're paying for the use of the club, their sound system, their audience, the fact that you can stream people, no pun intended, stream people to the show so that they can buy your tickets and come out and see you later on, and then they let you have a merch table out there where you can sell your CDs and all that. So it's not a ripoff. What it could be. I mean, you got to take a look at what they're charging you. But if they tell you you have to sell 100 tickets, and 100 tickets at a reasonable price will make it so that you break even there, and then if you sell more tickets, you make a profit. I think that's reasonable. But if the price of the tickets is just so outrageous that you feel like you have to buy your own just to break even, then that wouldn't be a good deal. Any questions about all this, Linda?
No.
Linda and I work together all the time, so this is a lot of ways. We haven't really done this particular process with her because she's so well developed in the improvisational side of it, but we know each other really well, so that helps it so there's not too many questions. So again, and in the comments, you can leave comments, leave questions. I'll check them out and get back to you. And I will be streaming on a regular basis, so watch for the promotions. And thanks again. You have a great evening, Linda.
You too. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll see you Sunday.
Okay.
And everybody else, see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.